Speaking of crowds, an incredible crowd for Friday night football at the MCG. Footscray's 100-year anniversary of joining the league, their biggest crowd they've ever played in front of in a home and away game, 78,000, but it was the Pies who rained on their parade.
It was, and it was ultimately the Pies' experience in close games. We saw it in their premiership year, their ability to hold on to leads, but geez, Footscray fought hard. And Tom Liberatore, the heart and soul, the Liberatore surname, for him to stand up. But this is, for me, the defensive play of the year. Bailey Williams gets up, he spoils, and then the full-length smother to get a touch on that footy late in the fourth term. Could have been the match-winning moment. Didn't happen to turn out that way for Footscray, but some really impressive signs for them as well with Fraser, the young guns, and who better but the man that ages like a fine wine, just gets better and better every time he plays. Steel side bottom, a phenomenal fourth term from him as well. 12 disposals and the match winner in the end. But very impressive, very mature performance from Collingwood in the fourth term to run out winners in this one.
A big talking point coming out of this game has been the umpires, which it tends to be in close games where there's a few calls late that maybe are, in the grey area. Let's have a listen to what Ed Richards had to say post-game about a potential favour of one side or the other, the free kick count being 33-14 for the Pies.
I'm always one to say put the whistle away. You don't really have to get yourself involved too much if you're an umpire. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying that, but I mean, everyone wants a high-flowing, high-paced game, contests, ball spilling everywhere. I think that's when we get our best brand of footy. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't know it was that sort of 33-14. It's quite a big discrepancy. So whether or not we were just sloppy, that's up to them, but I don't think it was that bad.
33-14. What's your view on free kick counts as a metric of umpire performance?
Yeah, I think there's obviously some decisions late in that game that have come under scrutiny. People have talked about them. They were 50-50 in the grey area. We know the ones that we're talking about. The thing that I have a problem with is people bringing up the free kick count as a way to measure umpire performance. Never in a game of football has anyone said that it should be 50-50. I don't understand where that metric comes from, the idea that if we've infringed 33 times, they must have as well, so it should be even. I think there were a lot of free kicks played in that game, a pretty high number, but at no point does it need to be referenced that it was 33-14 in favour of one team or the other. I just don't think that's a way that we need to start or continue to analyse umpire performance.
Well, it was a night to celebrate tradition, as we just touched on for Footscray, but one of football's longest-running traditions now is Steel Sidebottom Scott Pendlebury playing together. 308 games and counting, breaking the all-time record for games played as teammates, and both of them were incredible on the night.
They were, and you feel like the bigger the occasion, the better these two play as well, and nothing bigger than celebrating this together. Just both of their abilities to be so clean through traffic, whether there's pressure coming or not, and some of the decisions late in the game like these, when I said how mature they were running out the game, it's these handballs or kicks that are directed towards the sideline, but you also know are probably not going to go out for that insufficient intent free kick. They're going to stay in, they're going to chew time off the clock, and your teammates up the ground know they're coming. So it helps to really stop that, I guess, free kick or the ball going back in the opposition's hand and takes time off the clock, which Collingwood are phenomenal at.
A great shot of that jumper swap there at the end of the game.
How do you feel about that, Xander?
I don't know. It's a bit startling, to be honest. You never want to see another player in the number 10 or number 22, but both at once was a lot to deal with. From those veterans, back to the young guns, Sam Darcy. There's no bigger stage than Friday night football at the MCG to announce yourself, and he's played some great games before, but this was huge.
Yeah, at the moment, I don't know if there's a bigger player that's putting their hand up in football, really. His ability to take the ball at the highest point, be one-on-one, have a full launch at it. It doesn't matter who's defending you. When the ball comes in like that and you're going to take it at its highest point, no one's going to stop you. We come accustomed to seeing that, but this was what impressed me the most. His ball use, so that's his non-preferred, rolling back through the corridor to open it up, and then this one, kick of the night, just lace out to a forward. That is phenomenal ball use, but for me, there's a lot of talk about a $2 million player. Who's going to be the first one? Well, if you watch that, I really would find it hard to argue against Sam Darcy being that player.
Well, he was one of many incredible youngsters on the night for the Dogs, even though they went down. And they came up against a Collingwood side that was the second oldest team to ever take to league football ground. Let's have a look at some of the inexperience, some of the outs. What did you make of the depth of the Bulldogs on Friday night and the season so far?
Yeah, well, the first thing, Sam Darcy's on that list of inexperience, so he's playing well out of his weight category in that. But Davidson, Doolan, Fraser kicked a fantastic goal. I love the move of him going through the midfield, and we see the outs. And the thing that's impressed me the most is last year with Brisbane, we saw a number of injuries to key players. In that time, they had to find someone to fill those voids. Kai Lohman, Dane Zorko went back. Those players actually probably unearthed another level to their depth, to their talent. I feel like that's exactly what's happening at the Bulldogs here. These players like Fraser, he's playing more of a role through the midfield. Doolan, Davidson, would they have played the first two games? We won't know, really. But they're getting so much experience, and that's only going to hold them in such good depth when these players come back for the Bulldogs. And the likes of Bontempelli, Treloar, Waitman in the forward line, that's going to add a lot to that Bulldogs team.
Unearthed a few young guns for sure. A clumsy incident that's made a few headlines today was Rory Lobb on Mason Cox in the last moments of the game. He's today been cleared by the MRO, and I'll read a quote from the AFL. It was the view of the MRO that Lobb made a genuine attempt to spoil and that it was not reasonably foreseeable his actions would result in a reportable offence being committed. So no further action taken on Rory Lobb today after that one. How did you see that incident in terms of, did he deserve a week? Did he deserve a fine? What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's a genuine football act. He's tried to spoil the ball. It's a skill in our game that is so important to the game. So I think it's the right outcome. I think the way that you surmised it just then with a clumsy football act, I think that's exactly what it was and nothing more than that.